Well, greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. I worked a full 2 weeks on this one. As I said, I think once before, I wanted to do a collage of each of my grandchildren in a car. And I guess I'm going to call this one Ivy's Joyride. This is my granddaughter Ivy with her hands crossed and her chin on her hands, leaning out of a very vintage old car with, the rounded windows. I found this photo, a very old photo in black and white actually, and I thought, oh, I could put a kid in that old car and it would look good. Well, collaged, of course. So, first I had to find just the right reference photo of my granddaughter that would work with the lighting and everything. And being that the photo of the car was in black and white, I had to just pick a color, any color. I did this one before in red and really liked it, but I didn't want to do the second one in red, so I made the car blue and Ivy's going to have a red sweater on. I like the red. It has this lovely attention-grabbing pop. That works real well with a child's face too. It makes their cheeks glow and all of that. The thing about cars, and any building structure at all, it has to have perfect angles. I can't just, fudge different straight lines where there isn't supposed to be a straight line. I can't just fudge putting any old pieces of paper together. It has to have a flow to it to look man-made, mechanical, and all of that. So that part took a while. I put straight edges on the back seat there and then realized it looks terrible because the back seat would be rounded, curved ever so slightly, and so I had to fix that. And the colors on the inside would be dark and muted because it would be in shadow naturally. And finding just the right colors and tones that would work for this. I must have gone through a dozen magazines, pulling out papers and tossing others to one side that just weren't going to do it. And then through the back windows, you can see through them, of course, but you have to use something that's muted down, because through the glass and off into the distance, you would not be seeing clearly. You would be seeing blued colors or muted colors in the background. And that was interesting to find just the right photos for that. I found in a travel magazine, of all places, these pictures of elephants, and they were just muted enough to look like you're looking through glass and looking far away off into the distance. It was perfect for this window part. I must have spent a week and a half just getting all these angles right, just the background trim and everything, before I could even start on the girl's face. But, as always, this is my idea of a good time. I enjoyed myself immensely. What can I say? There, you see I had to curve that back seat in a slight amount. Not a lot, but a little. I also had to curve that chrome in the background behind her head. I couldn't just make that straight. Cutting all these little pieces and putting them on with tweezers also takes time. What's more is we have been having some car problems this week, so we really couldn't go anywhere, and until payday to get the car fixed, we had to sort of leave it parked and just stick close to home. So it meant anytime we really had to go somewhere, we had to use an Uber or a Lyft. And that's taxing as well on our finances. So I think I'm finally getting down to almost time to start on her sweater. Just getting this, background stuff done first. It's like it's like eating the main course first and saving dessert for last. You really want to jump into the child's face and the hands and the fun parts. But no, you have to do the background stuff first, including her sweater. So I'm putting in the shadows of her sweater, and I know it looks like I'm using black, but really it isn't. It is a very dark brown. I want the sweater red, so I'm using a dark reddish brown and then putting in a very dark burgundy, and those are all in the shadows. And then I can start using the deeper reds, and the lightest part is going to be rather an orange and a white. Because she's got this one arm, her right arm, out of the window. That's where the light will catch. That's where the white will be. But the arm on the inside of the car, I'm not putting any white there. I'm going to put a little bit of orange, but not white. It would get reflected light only. And I apologize for the pencil that's sticking up. I didn't even realize that my pencil was in the way. So I'm cutting some orange pieces, as you can see. These are fun, getting them all from different kinds of magazines, some from skateboard magazines, and some from like National Geographics, some from circulars that come in the mail, and some from art magazines. Now here's how I do the eyes. I actually cut out a brown piece that would be the eyelashes, the hair, the line around the eyes, And then I start putting in the whites of the eyes, the pupil, the iris of the eye, then the pupil, and then a highlight on top, and set the eyes to one side so that I can do the rest of the face right over the top of my pencil lines. Being that I know she has rather green eyes, but the photo shows her eyes very dark, I can go ahead and put a little green highlight in her eye and know that it's correct. Got a little pink there for her lips, and then I can go around right over the top of her lips with the colors that I've cut out for her face. She's got shadow on one side because one side of her face is out towards the light, out of the window, and the other side's on the inside of the car. If that makes sense. Makes sense to me. And now I can put her lips in place and the eyes in place. I'm putting a little dark shadow in the nostrils and her eyebrows and her eyes. This is when things start really taking shape, and I can sort of stand back and look at it and say, is this the right color? Do I have the shape of her face correct? Now, when it comes to her hair, which I left for last, my camera sort of stopped working, so I apologize ahead of time that all of the work on the hair, and there were a lot of individual hairs I put in, it all was lost. Sorry. And that was actually a couple of hours worth of work that the camera didn't capture, or at least my SD card lost somehow. You can see I'm using a very dark pink to add a few little extra shadows around the nose and ear, and I think that works. I mean, it's a real toss-up as to what color to use for those shadows. Should I use brown? No, that would make the face look dirty. Should I use red? There's so much red on her clothes already. Should I use well, in the end I used a dark pink that's almost brown, but not really brown. And underneath the fingers as well, a very, very dark brown, almost pink-like. So here it is, all finished. You didn't get to see the hair, but this is how it looks in the finished product. You can see the elephants in the background if you look closely. And I added a little bird up there inside the car, a frog and a few words, and like I normally do, it's a collage. I can add things. I sure hope that you enjoyed watching this all the way to the end, and I appreciate you taking the time out to watch this very, very long collage. Do come again and check out some of my links. I have so many things going on, watercolor and charcoal drawing and whatever I can put my hands to. See you next time, everyone. Bye now.